and welcome. I hope that you are all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm completely in relaxation mode and I've got a cozy sweater on, so I hope that you are okay with that. We had some snow falling today. It was really wonderful. It was really fun. And I just felt like I wanted to get cozy. But we have a lot to talk about, so grab your favorite warm drink. I am going to make a hot chocolate right now. And I got a hot chocolate bomb. I've got some oat milk here. So the directions on the hot chocolate bomb called for 6 ounces of milk, whatever milk you want to use. I did a little more than that. I'm going to froth it a little. So I have a nice frothy on the top. I poured in the milk over the chocolate bomb. I'm going to let it work its magic. But let's move on to talking about the books. And I know at the end of the video last time I was like, oh, it might be this book or this book. I decided to read Fake Skating first. It's set in winter and it's by Lynn Painter. She's been really popular. So I wanted to get it read and back on the shelf as quickly as I could. So at the start of December, I usually do the end of the year book tag. But since so many of those questions don't apply to my reading this year, I just decided it would be easier to not do that and just kind of talk about the end of the year reading as we're talking about readings. So if you watched December Reads, you know that I am focused this month on books that are set in the winter. And I selected all 4 of the books last time. So there are a couple of contemporary books and a couple of mysteries. Like I said, I'm starting with Fake Skating, which is a contemporary romance. Looks like my hot chocolate bomb is getting there. Chocolate is melting. Like I said, I'm starting with Fake Skating, which is young adult contemporary romance. And it just seemed like a lighthearted book was the best way to start the month. It's set in Minnesota during the high school hockey season. So you get all the winter vibes. Dani and her mom are moving to Minnesota. And it's the Minnesota city where Dani's mom grew up. Dani's parents have recently gotten a divorce. And while Dani is excited about staying in one school for a long period of time, she's not happy about having to start over in a new school. And she knows she's going to miss her father. She's also not happy about staying in her grandfather's house, especially since the last time she saw him, he argued with her parents. So part of the problem was that Dani's father was in the Air Force and they moved around a lot. Dani's father also doesn't think much of his ex's hometown. He's also pretty intense and he likes things to go his way. Years ago, Dani would spend summers with her mom, or part of the summers with her mom, in her grandparents' house with her grandparents, and she loved it. She had a close friend, Alec, who she hung out with all the time while she was there. And they used to send postcards and letters to one another when they weren't together. But something happened along the way, and they both feel abandoned by the other. Dani experienced bullying at another school and lost confidence in herself. But being back in this community just may help her gain confidence and be more comfortable with herself. Alec has changed so much that Dani doesn't even recognize him the first time she sees him. And Alec avoids seeing her altogether. But circumstances bring them together. Will they once again enjoy hanging out with one another? Will they be able to put aside what's happened in the past and reignite their friendship? Possibly, but I guess you'll have to read to find out. Some of the plot points in this book are obvious and not at all surprising, but the characters are relatable and fun. The story is well worth the read. Some things to be aware of before you read. There is some strong language. There are incidents of bullying and fighting. There is a car accident that results in injuries. There are panic attacks and gaslighting incidents. recommend this book? Yeah, I do. Just be aware of some of the content warnings going in, so if something is a trigger for you, you can just pass it on by. So what are the other titles you can read for a similar read? If you are looking for holiday books, I'm going to suggest, so this is Christmas by Tracy Andreen. Finley is struggling in her boarding school. She returns home for the holidays only to find out that everything at home has changed. And one of her classmates is also in her hometown because Dani had altered the city's website. This person believed it and decided it would be the perfect place to spend the holidays. Now, Finley's working hard so that the trip isn't a waste for him and his aunt, and she's trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. The Christmas clash involves two characters whose families are sworn enemies of one another. Peter Lee's family owns a restaurant in the food court. Chloe Kwong's family owns a restaurant in the food court. They are going to need to work together if they are going to save their family's restaurants and the mall. So if you are not necessarily looking for a book to be set during the holidays, but you're looking for a fun romantic comedy, I would suggest reading any of Lynn Painter's books. They are all really well written. She's got the Better Than the Movies series and a couple others, so give those a read. So next, let's take a look at the bingo card and cross off the things that I have done. So, contemporary book. I also watched Love Actually yesterday. So we have watch a festive movie or series. Create something crafty. We've got that. I recently made this paper clip bookmark from resin. I'll bring it closer so you can see it. It was a lot of fun. And so we've got that prompt. Listen to music. Yes. Take a long walk in nature. So on Sunday we went for a walk in the woods. And it was really nice. It was chilly, but there was less wind, and it was just a lot of fun being out in nature and getting some exercise. Make a cozy drink. Just did that. Take some time for yourself. So on Saturday evening, I just took some time for myself, and that really helped me to feel more refreshed again. And read at night. I basically do that every night. So we've got that one almost every day. And let's do set in winter, because obviously the book was set in winter. So there we are so far. And I think my hot chocolate is just about ready. Stir, just to make sure all the chocolate is melted and stirred up in there. I also got some of these hot chocolate decor, so I sprinkled those on the top. That's really chocolatey. I've never actually used one of those hot chocolate bombs before, so that was pretty good. Okay, so I think that's all for now. Thank you for joining me today. I am going to read Murder at Holly House, and this is the book that we will talk about next week. And it is historical history that takes place in the 50s. So I hope that you will join me then. And until then, I hope that you enjoy all that you do and all that you read. And thank you.